tunes for just 2 seconds, and then we will get going with Sheth. Alright, yeah, cheer.
Heyo.
Heyo! How are you, Sheth?
Pretty good. How about you?
Man, I am so sorry that we're starting a few minutes late.
Oh, not a big deal.
I,
Don't worry about it.
I coached a guy. We were supposed to start at 4, and I was late for him too, so that just pushed everything back. And
Gotcha.
it's just I hate being disorganized like this. I apologize 10 times over. So please
Not a big
forgive me.
deal. I too coached someone at 4 o'clock.
Fantastic.
I'm just happy to be able to be relaxing now and enjoying life.
Relaxing and enjoying life. So, in that vein, Sheth, how have you been since the last time we talked?
Just great. Just great. Playing StarCraft 2, watching StarCraft 2, laughing at Artosis and Hydra's video, laughing at the state of the game, casting some GCPLs, and just relaxing. How about you?
I've been practicing hard, tilting a little,
Okay.
and trying so hard to become Gosu like Sheth. Also doing a little bit of coaching myself, but that's not really. I don't market myself as a coach. I don't think I'm that good of a coach. I think you pros do a much better job of it than I ever could. So, anyways, now that we're here and we've done the fun little intros, I wanted to talk a little bit about ZvZ today.
Okay. Sounds good. I'm psyched to get into ZvZ.
How do you feel about ZvZ? Is that a matchup that you love or a matchup that you hate?
I like it a lot recently. I think there are a lot of cool, fun things you can do with it. There are a lot of neat things. I actually think there's still a lot of things that we haven't discovered in that matchup. I'm really just interested in trying it, and I've had a lot of success with it recently in tournaments. Like, I've been beating Sen recently, and I believe I even took Moonglade just in these recent invitationals I've been playing in ZvZ.
Holy guacamole. So you've been playing some pretty serious Zerg versus Zerg then.
Yeah, Moonglade and Sen, man, they're both pretty killer.
I hear that they're okay. I hear that they're kind of good players.
Indeed.
So, well, let me just start it off like this then. Monday we had Strife Crow on, and I don't know how much you've played with him in the past or if you've run into him often on the ladder.
Every once in a while.
But he plays a very macro-centric ZvZ. He loves 15 hatch. I know. That's the exact same response I had. And who am I to say that 15 hatch is no good? Because 15 hatch is great. We've seen Rhett use it to great effect in GSL, and I think Damaga has kind of been doing some fun 15 hatch stuff for a while over there on the European servers. And Strife Crow is, of course, no slouch. He wins a lot of games, and he's a really damn good player.
Definitely.
And 15 hatchery is a very cool macro-focused style. Now, for me personally, it's a little bit not the kind of style that I like to explore, because I just feel like we give up so much map control, and I feel like we're so susceptible to early pool builds that maybe it's a little bit too much of a gamble. So I'm going to kick it over to you, man. How do you feel about 15 hatch, and what do you prefer if not 15 hatch?
Okay, I've actually been playing a lot of 15 hatch lately just to get a feel for it, and I really have a very hard time. I feel that going like 14 gas, 13 pool, 15 gas, 14 pool, I feel like both of those can give you a much better economic lead with speedlings maybe even banelings if you want to try and break their expansion. On some maps, I think it's flat out impossible to go 15 hatch. For instance, Scrap Station, for instance, Zelmaga Caverns. Zelmaga Caverns is iffy, but I do think it's impossible. I know it's impossible on Delta Quadrants.
Why
some
do we
maps
even
like
play
that.
Delta Quadrant?
Because Blizzard makes us. That's the reason.
Okay, so your take on 15 hatch is that maybe it's not the best opening, but
It's risky. That's all I was saying. It's risky on some bigger maps like that, with the far distance from your main tier natural.
okay. So what do you prefer?
I definitely prefer 14 gas 13 pool or 15 gas 14 pool. I think it's way better, way stronger, provides so many different options, whereas 15 hatch, you really have to play defensively at the beginning, and if you play even a little bit wrong, you can get far behind, and there are so many cheeses that can knock you out if you play too macro heavy, and you just don't see something. Like if you lose an Overlord, if you do something stupid, it's so easy to lose with that 15 hatch, in my opinion.
All right. Well, let's talk a little bit about what comes next after we go gas pool. Bleh.
Okay.
You know, there's a few builds that are really kind of popular on ladder these days. Speedling Expand is probably the one that I am seeing most regularly, and then of course there's lots of gas pool and the roach stuff out there. So let's just start with Speedling Expand. What is your take on it? How does it work? And do you do it?
I think it's very strong. Speedling Expand is kind of what I use against people who do that 15 hatch. You can go and transition from Speedling Expand into Banelings, or you can just expand or transition into pure Speedling into Roach. You could even, if you wanted to, transition into Mutas. There are options you have. I don't actually recommend the Muta transition from that. I really just like Speedlings into Roaches, or Speedling with Baneling against that fast expansion. However, if they don't fast expand, excuse me, and then you're still trying to do this fastling expands, you just have to make sure you have enough lings to deal with their Roaches. And if they're getting a lair early and getting a fast +1, you need to be able to transition very quickly into Roaches yourself, and make sure your economy isn't too much behind theirs, because you'll want to be able to stop theirs. You even need to be a little bit prepared to deal with like a Burrow Roach microed sort of thing. So a lot of the times it's important to have a lair, even just for that Overseer, or just throw in an Evolution Chamber, depending on the map, and just put down one Spore.
Man, Sheth, I am loving everything you're saying right now, because this is exactly the style that I like to play in my ZvZs. Let's talk a little bit about one-base Banes. Is there a place for it? Do you ever do it?
Definitely, I do it to kill fast expansions all the time. There's a way to do that, like on certain maps where you have really close positions. I really actually like making a second queen, killing their Overlord that's near me first, and then I can do some sort of Baneling, Speedling if I want to, especially on certain maps. I generally don't prefer it as much as I prefer the Speedling Expand into Banelings or whatever sort of builds, but it does have its place for sure. You can definitely throw someone off who does a fast expand. It would definitely beat anyone who tries to do it would actually probably pretty easily beat that Speedling Expand if you don't catch it in time.
Right.
If you're just expecting, oh, he'll go Roaches, I can macro up. No, he has Speedlings, Banelings. Okay, I'm going to lose my expansion. Oh my god, what's going on?
Right.
So, but the thing is, it's so easily scouted, and then so easily dealt with if you just have a proper amount of Roaches, Spinecrawlers positioning. Of course, depending on the map. That depends vastly.
All right. Well, I'll tell you, the way I like to play ZvZ, and you can tell me if I'm completely with it or not, I almost prefer to open one-base Banes, and then I try to kind of quickly adapt. Like if I see he's going to go one-base Roach, I'll try to cancel the Baneling Nest and expand, and kind of turn it into a Speedling Expand. And then if I see that he's doing basically anything else, I'll just stick with it. Is that a bad way to play my Zerg versus Zerg? StrifeCrow was saying that seems like a terribly inefficient way to do anything.
I think it's very efficient in the essence that you want to scout and see if they're making Roaches or if they're doing something, then you cancel your Bane, and then you really can make your Roach Warren later, and you can use that drone for whatever, and even make a Evolution Chamber to get that +1 for your Roaches. And you can do it slower because you know that they don't have Speedlings, or if they do, they don't have map control, and they don't quite know what you're doing. So I do actually enjoy that sort of build. I don't know if it's that good against some sort of fast like fasts, maybe Roach with expansion, some weird timing.
Yeah, like Roach expand stuff.
Yeah, but again, depends. Yeah, you need to. I need to figure out which map we're talking about, because there is basically the two schools of maps, in my opinion, where you have the Metalopolis, Lost Temples. I'll just throw in like maybe Zelnaga Cavern, maybe. Why don't I look at the maps and then I can. But you know, and then there's the Delta Quadrants and the Steppes of Wars and the other lovely Blizzard maps.
We'll definitely go through most of them here today. What I would like to do, since we've kind of talked about the early stages of the game, is go ahead and kind of jump in and have you play a couple. And as always, I've lined up some fairly respectable Master League opponents for you. So guys that might keep you honest, but also that hopefully you'll be able to beat. Hopefully.
Hopefully.
I don't know if they're quite as good as Sin.
Oh well, I'm not saying I'm nearly as good as Sin. I'm just saying that
you got lucky in a certain series.
Exactly.
A certain number of times consecutively.
Just saying I'm not. I can take games off of some of the best.
Well, that's very humble of you, sir. So we're gonna start off on Zelnaga, which is one of my favorite ZvZ maps because it is so conducive to speedling, baneling play.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
And Shui is not going to play first, but he will play with you at some point. First, we're going to bring in my buddy Aquanda.
Oh, actually, know a little bit about him, I guess. I've talked with him a little bit.
Someone with a reputation.
Oh no, nothing bad by any means.
And you know the drill, man. We're just gonna let you do your thing. I'm gonna watch and stay in your ear as much as I possibly can.
Sure, that's perfect. Have fun, good luck, Aquanda. Of course, I'm telling you that, which isn't gonna get to him in any way.
I'll pass the message on.
Thank you, thank you. I love purple. Once you're purple, your Zerglings actually gain 1 HP, which matters. You know?
That would be a pretty tremendous buff in the case of like 1,500 Zerglings.
Anywho, Sen, a few other Zergs have actually been trying to do some sort of 10 pool lately. It's kind of interesting, build.
Yeah, I was talking to Red about that today, believe it or not.
Yeah, it's actually pretty legitimate, but it does put you behind if your opponent fast expands behind it. I don't know. What did Rhett say? I'm actually curious to know. I don't think it's that good.
Rhett said that he doesn't like that build, but he said that that build makes 15 hatch unsafe.
Agreed.
Which is why he has also started moving away from 15 hatch on some maps, not on all maps.
Yeah, again, maps make such a difference. Getting tongue-tied.
You know, while we're here in the early minutes of this game, I wanted to ask you, I don't know when it happened, but not too long ago, you played a game on, I think, Tal'Darim Altar against Druby. And you showed off some pretty cool Nidus Worm use, didn't you?
Against Druby on what map was it again?
Was it one of the new GSL maps? Am I mistaken, or was it somebody else?
Trying to think. It actually was me, actually. I've been playing with him on some of the new GSL maps, so that does ring a bell. I don't remember Nidusing him too much. Which map was it? Do you remember?
I think it was Tal'Darim Altar.
Okay.
Super huge 4-player map.
Gotcha, gotcha. I don't remember it. But
the reason I ask is because since we have kind of time, though the game is quickly picking up, you know, these bigger as the maps get bigger and bigger, I think Nidus Worms are going to get really good. Do you think there's any truth in that?
Yeah, definitely. Nidus Worms can be amazingly used. I was actually talking with Druby. I was telling him I really think being able to use Nidus to transfer units from like your main to your fourth, and use them to defend is going to get super popular. I think it's hard to do though. Like, I'm not used to the mechanics of it, but it has so much potential. Like, oh my god, in this sort of small map, no potential at all, because I'd rather just move my units behind you or counter.
Right.
On those huge maps though, oh my god, I can't wait to try them out more, because it brings a whole new essence to this game. Like, completely honestly, it's gonna completely change ZvT.
Totally agree. It's gonna change
everything.
Right.
Yeah, I imagine Nidus will be used in every matchup because so much of a huge movement advantage, and they're